All right, I think it's working this time. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Trading Bitcoin with your host, Tone Vays, waiting for the live chat to come up off of this stream, and we will get started. I hope everyone's doing well on this holiday weekend. All right. It'll mostly be about Bitcoin today. I'll take a look at some of your questions. I think I kind of decided mentally what I'm going to do in the future. I'm going to keep these videos a lot shorter, and they will only be on market analysis and no audience participation. And I'm going to set up like a $20 a month proprietary YouTube videos. I'll do them at least once a week, and that will be for more audience Q&A and participation. And I'll probably release those on a delay, kind of like, I don't know, a few days later, a week later, I don't know. And those will be the longer format. So that's what's probably going to happen. Because some people like the shorter videos. I just want to, kind of optimize everything that I do. Okay, and I got your live chat. All right, now we can go to screen share and take it from there. I'm actually still waiting to see the live chat. I don't know why it's taking so long, but it'll get there. What's going on? Am I frozen? Oh, there it is. Okay, good. Okay. Look, we're going to still keep an eye on the big picture. Here's the big picture. I know the big picture is probably looking a little bit worse than in this screenshot as of last night. And I still think that both of these lines, the phase 7 hyperwave line or the downward trend line, still has a big role to play. And so does the support line. This support line will probably follow the 200-week moving average. So I think the 200-week moving average also still has a role to play. Now, as I described yesterday, the $7,600 area continues to have a role to play as well. This is the area that will, I hope that one day Bitcoin is so high above this number that it no longer brings back any memories. But I will always remember the $7,600 value number, because it's been, look, it hasn't been perfect. Right here, you went a little bit above, and right here, you bounced perfectly. Here, you went a little bit below. And as I draw the $7,600 line, you can see how the area above the line is almost identical as the area below the line. It's really incredible. I don't know what the horizontal average of these areas would really be. I'm kind of curious what it would be since this day. I guess I can do it, right? I'm actually curious what the average is. We're gonna do it right now. So here's how it's done. It's very, very easy. I'm gonna hold the shift key, and I'm gonna figure out how many days, how many weeks it's been. So this is 127 bars. So that's 127 weeks. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open up the moving average, since this is the weekly chart. And I'm just going to change one of these to 127, because I'm really curious where that moving average will be. So let's change. I'll change the long period moving average to 127, and see where that is. Wow, look, it's almost identical, right? So the price, the high that we hit this week was almost right at the average of all these bars since this day. Remember, the reason why I'm using 127 days is because that's exactly how many, 127 weeks. That's exactly how many weeks since we hit this area right here. So that's really, really interesting how we're right back at that level. And visually, it looks that way as well. So really, really curious. I'll probably keep this going. Just like adjust this every week. So then it'll be 128. So it'll be more. It's kind of like the time since this happened. But let's drop this for now. All right, back to the clean chart. All right, I have a question from Peter. Let's see what you have to ask, Peter. Tone, what would be a decent sell price for Apache? I don't know. I'll go and take a look in a minute. I'll take a look at Apache because I have absolutely no expectation of what the market will do come Monday. So let's stick with Bitcoin. Let's go to the weekly chart. The weekly chart is not any different than during yesterday's video at all. The daily chart. The daily chart is now fully on the third day of a 1 to 4 candle correction. So there could still be potential for one more day. Remember, the market doesn't have to reverse here. We can go lower. I just don't believe that it will. But you never know. Tomorrow is Sunday, and tomorrow night, futures will open. And if those futures in the S&P 500 open, 850 points to the downside, that's going to have an effect on Bitcoin. And if they open at a brand new stock market all-time high, that's going to have an effect on Bitcoin as well. And to be honest, they can open in 300 points up or down tomorrow night. I have absolutely no idea, none whatsoever. I have no indication. I guess I'm a little bit more bearish going into the stock market on Monday, only because of the VIX. And we're going to take a look at the VIX. All right. Yeah, splitting of the videos afterwards doesn't really work, but good try because of view counts and all this other stuff. Oh, wait, 4-hour chart. This is the important one. This is the big one. So yesterday when I was doing the video, we were right here. We were right there. And I was pretty damn bullish looking for a bounce in the price. And that bounce certainly took place. Now, remember, on a 9, just like with the daily chart, having downwards pressure of 1 to 4 candles, the same thing can be true for the 4-hour candles, right? So the 4-hour 9 was also initially on the move for a 1 to 4 candle correction. And while at this candle, this would be midnight in US East Coast time, at the very top of that candle, sitting at 69.50, I would have been very, very bullish, looking for more upside. It was also a green 2 above a green 1. Right now, I am not that certain. So what am I thinking at the moment? I'm thinking this is a no trade zone for me. So I'm going to grab a channel, and I'm just going to do, if the price goes above this area, I would be bullish. But if the price goes below the TDST level, I would be bearish. And as long as Bitcoin is in this zone, it is in a no trade zone, right? So those that bought right here on the 9 yesterday, are you still in this? Are you still in this trade? The answer is it's up to you. Some people may still be in this trade to the upside. Some people already got out of this trade with a profit, and some people are waiting for their stop loss to get hit. Where would my stop loss be? Well, my stop loss would be just below the swing lows. So my stop loss would be just under 67.50. However, the Tone Vays rule number 3 of trading says the following. It's my rule number 3 that I teach. And in rule number 3, don't let your profitable trades become losing trades. See, this trade was already somewhat profitable. I don't know what your time horizon is. Now, if your time horizon is years, this may not apply to you. But if you're a day trader, if you're even a swing trader, if you were looking for a multi-day upswing off of this area, this candle should be making you nervous. And if this candle is making you nervous, I would get out of this trade with a profit now. You can always enter this trade back in on the next green 2 above a green 1 on a 4-hour chart, ideally at this line or maybe even below this line, right? But like, you actually have nothing to lose. You have nothing to lose by taking your profit now and waiting for the next price flip. Of course, it's possible that the next price flip will be like a monster candle to the upside, but that's the chance you take as a trader. So if I took the long here, I honestly would already be out of this trade with a little bit of profit, because what I expected did not happen. I expected Bitcoin to be above 7,000 by now. It came close. We got to 69. What was the high here? High was 69.63, and over here on the second try, the high was 69.55. But now we've had a price flip, and now we had a red 2 go below a red 1 and a red 3 go below a red 2. This is not bringing me confidence. And this is telling me that the daily 1 to 4 candle correction is probably not over. Probably we still have like 6 hours to go today, and we still have tomorrow. And we may even go lower. So while I had all the confidence in the world that the price of Bitcoin would bounce from this area, I am no longer as confident as I was last night. And therefore, I would rather get out of this trade with a profit while I still can, before my winning trade turns into my losing trade. Okay? I hope I explained that one. All right, let's see what else we got. Have your followers increased enough to make you think we're in a bull market? No, not really, but I can't remember the last time I had 1,200 live viewers on my show, which happened last night. Right now we're at 780, and we may make it to 1,000, within the next few minutes, or within the next half an hour or so. So my followers are not increasing. Well, they're increasing, so I'm bullish. They're not increasing at the 2017 rate, so I'm not 2017 bullish. And it's more so the hatred of me being a bull and all the bears coming out saying how dumb I am for expecting prices to go higher. That is giving me confidence that it is a bullish market. Odds we wick down to 2,000 during end of bear market. I have put those odds to below 20%. Wick down below 2,000? On which market? On Bitcoin, I'm assuming, not the S&P. So odds that the S&P dips below 2,000, I give that a good 33%, like a third, that we dip below 2,000 on the S&P. As for Bitcoin dipping below 2,000, maybe 5-10%. Like, I don't think we're going to wick below 2,000. I think maybe 20% we dip below 3,000. I certainly don't expect us to dip below 2. Yeah, well, look, I give it 20%, we go below 3, and 5% we go below 2. So a wick down to 2,000 is somewhere in between, closer to 5. So maybe 10% chance we wick to the low 2s, 20% chance we wick to the high 2s. Yeah, thanks, Motorist. Yeah, I saw that. I am somewhat keeping an eye on the live chat. Okay, so let me see. What if you took the trade yesterday on a daily level of expecting 0 to 3 more days of pullback? Would you still exit the trade now and hope to buy back around 6,500? That is a very well-phrased question. Let's go and analyze that question. So, you may not like my answer. So if you took the trade yesterday, right there at the low, because you used the 4-hour chart to get in really good timing. So let's say you got in at 67.75. Let's round to the nearest 25 bucks, right? So I may be a little too detailed here. And I probably shouldn't be this detailed. But I'm going to go ahead and put this line at 67.75, which was when I said yesterday I expect us to bounce. Now, if you're taking this trade based on a daily chart, you should know that this is only the second day of a 1 to 4 candle correction, and a red 2 below a red 1 is a bit problematic. So what I would do in that case, I would not go in with my entire position. I would only go in half of my intended position, giving me the ability to add to my trade on the 4th day at a lower price of, say, 66.50 or something like that, right? Or 6,600. So if I took that trade on a longer term time scale, I would make that trade a little bit smaller, giving me the ability to double that trade at a lower price. But I would only do it if I put in smaller. If I went in fully into that trade, and then I would not add more at a lower price. And I would consider getting out on a red 2 going below a red 1 on a daily, right? Or the next candle going below that. So I would set my stop loss probably around 66.90, and at 66.90 I would get out. Now that doesn't mean that I'm gonna go back in at 6,500 when it drops. I would wait for strength to enter back into the market. Because look, this area here, I'm expecting us to bounce the price. It's a little bit tricky. I mean, if I did not have a lot at stake, I would put that stop loss below the triangle, maybe like 64.90, giving myself lots of wiggle room. But I would only add to my trade if I made that trade smaller in the beginning on purpose to give me a shot to add to that position. I'm still of the belief that we do not go lower than this area. That is about 6,100. I think 6,100 will hold. All right. What else you guys got? Oh, yeah. So here. So going back to the S&P 500 for a second. Where are we here? All right. I don't know why the charts don't want to. There we go. No, the futures chart did. Look, I expected this week to be a bearish week. That turned out to be the complete opposite. The complete opposite. So instead of a bearish week, we got a 13% rise which is insane. What makes it worse is while I was, after Monday's open, I was very bullish into the rest of the week, but this crazy drop all day on Tuesday turned me back into a bear, which once again was the opposite of what the market did Wednesday and Thursday. So this means I am taking a little bit of a break from assuming what the market is going to do, because clearly it acted irrationally in my mind, but it doesn't matter what my opinion is on the market. The market will do what it wants. And therefore, I'm going to reserve all judgment. What I will say is the reason why it's conceivable to lean bearish is because the VIX is on a daily 9. And I don't like to go against sequential. Here's the last time sequential gave you a 9. Granted, it was in the opposite direction. This was not only a daily 9 on the upside, it was also a weekly 9, putting all ducks in a row that as of March 18th, the market was going to reverse and go to the upside, which is exactly what the market did. So I'm going to trust the sequential that the VIX is going to rise into next week for at least a 1 to 4 candle correction. And what does that mean for the price of the S&P? I don't know. It's possible that the S&P will only drop 1% and the VIX can skyrocket. It's also possible the S&P can rise a little bit and the VIX will go up a little bit. Okay. It's also possible the S&P will fall and the VIX will also fall. They're correlated, but they're not crazy correlated. Remember, the low in the stock price came on March 23rd, which is this candle, not March 18th, which is that candle. So VIX was already declining while the stock market was still falling. The Federal Reserve is going to print unlimited dollars. Then wouldn't the stock market just keep on going up? Maybe. So this has been something that I've been saying for a long time. I'm bullish the stock market because it's the Fed's job to support the stock market. Like they can, in their mandate, they're supposed to, the Federal Reserve has a mandate of full employment. I have absolutely no idea how the Federal Reserve can abide by a mandate to create full employment other than prop up the companies that hire people, which in a way is like saying you got to keep their stock price up so they don't fire anyone. So yes, the Fed's job is clearly to support the economy, which is in a way supporting the stock market. Not directly, but in every indirect way humanly possible. But at the same time, if 90% of small businesses fail, and small businesses employ 70% of the people in America, because the government continues to keep the economy shut down, and California is apparently arresting you for sticking your head out the window. I feel so sorry for people living in California. Like the nice weather is just not worth it. I'm sorry, guys. It's like worse than New York or any other state. Those are the two most socialist states, California and New York. And California definitely gets the prize. Like New York is not even a close second. So I think the majority of small businesses are going to fail, which means the majority of the people will be unemployed, which means no one is going to be buying from these big companies either. So I see plenty of reasons why the stock market will go down, because people just won't buy those stock. Right now, speculators are rushing in every time the Fed says they're going to print, but they're not going to be saying that forever. And I don't know if the stock market is going to go to here, but I'm pretty sure it's going to pull back. How far? I have no idea. We'll have to see how far in relation to this last low. Yeah, we can take a look at BitMEX funding. So BitMax funding, it still favors the bulls. Yep, you can see it right here. So I should be, I'm bullish here. BitMax funding is still saying people are scared. The daily RSI is not, I mean, I wouldn't say it's screaming bullish, but it's not terrible. Certainly not screaming bearish. And the MACD is still bullish, but if we go down a couple of more days, that will change. Okay, taking a look at the long shorts on Bitfinex. I don't know if that's useful these days. Which one is the question? I think this one. Hey, Mike Jones, I see your question. We'll take a look in a minute. So here's the long short ratio, and it's back to reasonable levels. Huh. Look at that. How about that? The long short ratio is back to reasonable levels. So this is longs divided by shorts. And so this right here is where it kind of got out of control. This is where there was a ridiculous amount of longs versus a small amount of shorts. And you can see that the longs were wrong, as usual. The longs were wrong. See, the long-short ratio spikes off a 9, ironically. Here's the long-short ratio going up off a double 9. It just crashed off the single 9. Here's the top in the gold short ratio on a 9 again. And yeah, we can open these up. Yeah, so here are the longs spiking like crazy. Here are the longs starting to drop, and here are the shorts just to kind of disappear. So this is weird. So this was not longs necessarily being this spike, was not necessarily longs being wrong. It's shorts getting out of the market, which seems to be ill-advised considering they would have made a lot of money had they stayed in the market another few months. So here's a spike in the shorts. And of course, the shorts got destroyed. Here is the maximum in the shorts taking place right here on the 8 candle. Oh, wait. No, that doesn't make sense. This is the countdown 8. That's not the 8 candle. I don't know what candle that is. That was also the 8 candle. No, it was the 9 candle. Nice. March 16th. March 16th. That was actually the 9 candle. So that was the 9 buy on the market, on the Bitcoin price. These numbers are from that ratio. And the shorts were on the wrong side, and the shorts got crushed. And then the shorts go high again and peak right here, and then the shorts get crushed. And now the shorts are pretty high again, and they're probably going to get crushed. And look how low the longs are. The longs have not been this low. Well, they were this low a couple of days ago, but that's about it. So the longs have not been this low since back here. Oh, that was nice. See over here, the longs timed with the low, which is rare. Usually the longs screw up. Oh, I'm sorry, the longs were low. My bad. That's exactly in line. The longs were very, very low. The last time the longs were this low or lower was the bottom price of 6. I think this is, what price is that? That's about 10,000. I think that's 10,000. What's the price? See, these are the ratios. That's not the price. What day is that? Actually, if I see the day, I'll know the price. July. So this was the $14,000 bubble. Okay, so that was the $14,000 price. So this was probably around 7,000, 8,000. It's probably around 8,000. Yeah, because this was like 10, 11. Yeah, so that was like 8,000. So that was the last time they were that low. And it went from 8,000 and it went up to like 11,000 or something. Yeah, so all of this favors the bulls, guys. This favors the bulls, and the BitMEX funding rate favors the bulls. All right, I'm going to close the chart. If my time horizon is the end of 2021, do you believe holding is a good idea? Yeah, I do. I think dollar cost averaging is a great idea if that's your time horizon. Any update on getting Willie on before the halving? Oh, I'll definitely get him on before the halving. I'll text him. I'll text him this weekend. Okay, let's take a look at that Canadian currency. I did go over it the other day, so nothing's changed. It's not looking good for you guys in Canada. Yeah, you are like rebounding a little bit. You're coming off this 9, but I don't see it going below. I think you're in trouble. I think you're in trouble. It's just bad from a long-term perspective. You just made a brand new all-time high in your exchange rate versus the US dollar. Maybe not an all-time high, but an all-new decade high. That's for damn sure. So I don't think it ends well. Look, you can pull back a little bit. I mean, look what happened here. You were stronger than the US dollar in 2012. And then by 2016, you were trading at 140 and change. And then you had, a good year or two. You got it down to 120, and now you're back to 140. So you'll have a good year, maybe good half a year. You'll get it back at best to 135, but your ultimate future is somewhere over here. It's somewhere up here near the $2. So I am a big bull on the US dollar, and I'm a bear on all foreign currencies. So I would not be surprised to see the Canadian dollar actually reach a new all-time high against the US dollar. I think this area here will get broken. I think that when I go to Canada in a few years, I will have 1.6 to 1.8 Canadian dollars for every US dollar. This chart just does not look good. Please review the Consensio videos from Hyperwave channel. Look what it says. You have 3 moving averages. And this is the weekly scale. And they're all increasing. They're all above each other. This is just bad. Sure, it got crushed a little too far and a little too fast. It's just a pullback. If your currency had any kind of future versus the dollar, this would not have happened. So this is people of Canada losing confidence in the Canadian dollar. I sold my CAD for BTC. Yeah, I would too. I mean, I'm bullish DXY. It's just a pullback to me. I think the dollar index will rise because look, this dollar index is only comprised of like 5 currencies. It's 60% euro, and then Japanese yen, and then British pound, and I think Swiss franc, Maybe the Canadians are in there. Maybe. I don't think so. I forget the composition. I don't really have much else to add other than I'm still bullish gold. And I think gold, the US dollar, and Bitcoin could all rise together, even in a time where the stock market and the bond market both fall. But for the moment, I am still bullish the bond market. I still think that TLT can go up further. I don't see, yes, that's a 9, and the 1 to 4 weekly candle correction has played out. And now I see a green 2 going above a green 1. Granted, this hasn't gone above the 9 yet, but that's a crazy week. If we move this to the daily chart, look, all the moving averages are still rising. They were never really in danger. And I still think the TLT can go higher, but eventually this will also crack. And bonds and stocks could go down together, which is the perfect environment to have gold and Bitcoin go through the roof. South African rand looked terrible last time I looked. I took a look at the NOK and SEK currencies like yesterday even. I took a look at the Swiss franc the other day as well. It looked fairly bullish. That's because the Swiss have not shut down their economy like the rest of Europe or US. Yeah, so the Swiss franc's still doing okay. See, this is US dollar in Swiss francs. And as you can see, unlike the other currencies we look at, it costs you less Swiss francs to buy the US dollar. So the Swiss franc is stronger than the dollar because they are keeping their economy open. So I'm not surprised that their currency is holding its value. How could anyone be bullish on Bitcoin at a moment when there are thousands of shit coins? Market is too immature, filled with Twitter trolls. Do you think Bitcoin will see all-time highs within the immaturity? I don't expect Bitcoin's all-time highs for years. I also don't expect Bitcoin's all-time high until the Bitcoin dominance is above 90%. But it's possible that the shitcoins will pump and Bitcoin will pump and we have another 2017 style bubble. So anything can happen, but no, I'm not expecting it. Yes, I trade GBTC inside my retirement account, but I'm not here to give lessons on how to do that. There's videos out there. I did a video back in the day. I may open up my consulting services, but I'm not going to do a video on how I trade GBTC in my retirement account. But yes, learn how to do it. You should be, if you're going to manage your, okay, here's the thing, right? If you're going to manage your own retirement account and enter your own trades, but you're asking a free YouTube channel to teach you how to do it, you shouldn't be trading. I'm sorry. That's the reality of it. If you can't figure out how to trade GBTC in your retirement account, my short answer is please don't. Please let a professional manage your money. Which means buy an ETF or just be careful what you're doing. I don't talk about when to buy. That's financial advice. All right, so here's another comment. How was anyone bullish on Bitcoin in early? I was very bullish on Bitcoin in 2017. I was one of the biggest bulls on Bitcoin in 2017, and I hated shitcoins back then too. Yeah, we can easily stay in the $6,700 to $6,800 range until Monday. The world's debt rose by 3 trillion in the first quarter of 2019, and almost unprecedented borrowing. Like, it doesn't matter that the world debt has raised by 3 trillion unless we owe this debt to aliens who could come with their technology and kill us if we don't pay up. It doesn't really matter. All right, I think I'm gonna just leave it here, guys. That's it. That's my view on Bitcoin. We'll take a look at the 4-hour chart one more time. Oh, we just made a new candle. We just made a new lower low. We just touched the setup trend line again. We're not yet at the lows. But like I said when the video started, once this red 2 went below this red 1, I was no longer confident in the bounce off of this area because everything was predicated on an entry using a 4-hour chart that would turn the daily chart bullish. But when this green 2 going above a green 1 failed to hold, it turned the 4-hour chart bearish, which on a daily scale tells me that we are not yet ready to reverse the 1 to 4 candle correction. And this is one of those situations where I would go into a trade with anticipation of holding it for weeks, but be out of that trade within 24 hours with a profit because I am no longer comfortable with the imminent bullish rise in Bitcoin due to the 4-hour chart not being able to maintain this candle closing above that candle. And it's over. And while I don't have to admit it right away, I have to admit it when this red 2 went and pretty much closed below the red 1. And now, if you're still in that trade, you're going to end up in a losing trade because most likely you're already in a losing trade because it was not easy picking it up at the low, though you did have plenty of hours to take that trade. But right now, I am not as confident in the bullish case as I was yesterday. That might change. That might change with the next candle. But as of right now, I would rather not be in a swing long trade. That doesn't mean I want to be in a swing short trade. Right now, I would just sit this one out and wait for a better buying opportunity, or either a better buying opportunity that's lower or a better buying opportunity that's higher with a breakout. So that's my summary on the views of Bitcoin before we close out. And we still have a bunch of viewers. If you want to know about the history of the Fed, I'll probably republish this article, but I like the fact that it's from 2015. You don't have to watch this video. It's not that important, though it was a pretty good video. And these are links about the history of the Fed from Martin Armstrong's blog. That's actually, let me refresh. I'm still adding some. Like I started reading the blog again every now and then. So if I see a good article about the Fed, I put it in here in the bottom, like in reverse order. So you can see how I did all this in 2015, and then I didn't read the blog for 5 years because I was busy with Bitcoin world. Now that I'm home, I have a little bit of time on my hands, so I can catch up on some readings. So you can read these and maybe help you with your Federal Reserve conspiracy theories a little bit. So you can check that out. And of course, the affiliates page. If you want to support, please use the affiliates page. I love my Embly card. This one is in the mail. It was hard to choose one. I already spoke to them about allowing people to have multiple cards linked to the same backhand, in which case I will have all of them and I will use a different one each day. But for now, once I get this and connect it, I will show you this one on camera. It's absolutely awesome. But yeah, you can support TradingView exchanges. And if you're interested in learning how to trade, check out the on-demand webinars. I need to start preparing to teach another options class. And yeah, hopefully some people will join. All right, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget about the Bali event taking place in November, first week of November, and Understanding Bitcoin, first week of October. I'm going to go ahead and end it here, and I will talk to you all on the next one. Stay safe, guys.